Hey, greetings, and welcome to my war room. Today I'm starting a game by GMT Games and designed by Mr. Ted Racer. This is a game from the Clash of Giants series, the third installment that deals with the two battles of the U.S. Civil War. Second Bull Run in Gettysburg. I'll be playing a solitaire version of the second Battle of Bull Run. Here's my map, and as per instructions, I've already set up the board. The Confederate player had a choice of two setups for his three divisions. I rolled the dice, and this is the way it turned out. And they could have deployed down here, down south, but the die roll got them up here. So this is where the random die roll placed the Confederate divisions, our corps. We are starting the game with Hooker's units here at Manassas Junction. Now, if Taliaferro, the guys in the orange, if they had an option of deploying down here at Manassas Junction, if they would have, Hooker would have had to come in somewhere else. But as with the random die rolls, they're deployed up there. So there's the Confederate forces. This is Stewart's cavalry, but he won't be doing much till Stewart comes around. So this here is the setup now. I'm getting ready to roll. This game employs what's called variable. Let me look on the thing here. Variable reinforcements, battle dependent, and the second Battle of Bull Run uses that. So if I can find my little tweezers I always have here. Oh, here we go. Okay, get you caught up here real quick. Roll a die for each formation scheduled to arrive this turn to determine if there's a delay. So each of my units scheduled to arrive has got to roll a 1 to 4 to arrive on the right time. A 5 gets them the next day, and a 6 gets it 2 turns. Okay. My first units to arrive are the units under Kearney, the brigades under Kearney, and out the roll for each one to see if he arrives. Now his first arrival spot choice is going to be, you can see this number down here, this E, and that corresponds with this area right here. But I'll roll a dice, and if I get a 4 or if I get a 5, it'll come in F. 6 will come in D. So there's a bunch of variances in the arrival locations in some of these units. Another thing is, and this is important to the scenario or to the actual battle, and this is they give you a choice whether you want to use it or not. Use the historical circumstances, I guess is what you want to say, or not. And the historical circumstances are all about this General Pope and his orders. So we're going to go ahead and play it with this play balance. This designer of the game, let me go ahead and stop this here real quick, and we'll start it all over so I can make sure I get it all in one video. Okay. And a designer says you don't have to use these Pope orders, but if you don't use them, there's really a slanted gameplay in favor of the Union player. So I'm going to go ahead and do it the historical way. There is some in-house rules or in-house things I do. I use this little command marker to give certain units, they're the command units, and any other unit in their formation has to be within 4 hexes of the command unit, or else they're what's called, let me flip this thing over. Here's a sample one. Out of command. So it's important they stay within the command range that command unit. Now I think you're able to switch between units, but I'm just going to go ahead and keep it fixed on this unit right here. Like for instance, the command unit for hookers formation is Grover. So Grover's brigade is going to be the command unit for hookers formation or division. Okay, so now we gotta go ahead and roll. Try to get a 1 to 4 for each of these guys and see if Kearney's units come on. I'm gonna go ahead and take care of that now, and we'll be right back. First unit we'll be rolling for is old Bernie's brigade. So we'll see if they're gonna arrive on time or get lost in the woods. 1 to 4, so Bernie's arrives on time. Let me see here. The next unit will be Poe's. Poe's unit's next. And he's looking for a 1 to 4 also. He gets a 2, so Poe is right on time. Let's see if old Robinson can keep things going. Get the old Robinson counter here. Nice counters. Like I said, that first number means that they're up in the corner, means that they arrive at the first turn. That letter E is their area that they're arriving in. The P means that they're the Army of the Potomac. And the 3 means they're the 3rd Corps, I think. I'm not sure. I'll have to check that out. But Kearney's in charge of that corps, and Robinson is in charge of this brigade. So here we go. 3. So everybody's coming in at the assigned time, at the assigned place. Or rather, we'll look at the assigned place. Let's go over here and check this on out. All right. Okay, there's this regular assigned spot to come in as E, was it? I can't see nothing here. E. All right, we're gonna roll another dice and see if they come in at E or if they come in at F and D. So here we go. 6. That's another spot. And this is what happened on my last game. All right, old Kearney's coming down here on spot D. So I'm gonna go ahead and take this Army of Potomac command marker, place it in the command cup. Grab my 2 units here, and they will go onto area D as per the die rolls. I think the command unit on this one I will assign to, since they're all pretty well even strength, let's take a shits and grins. Pole will be the commander of the formation. All right. Now, as per orders, these units got strict orders from, what was his name? Poke or Pole or whatever. Let me look and see here again. Pope, yeah, Pope's orders. They have to stake on this road. They have to stake strictly on the road, not come off the road and head straight for Centerville, I think. Let me check that. I could be mistaken. It might be somewhere else, but they have a strict movement procedure, and that's one of the problems, I guess, that happened in Second Bull Run. They were all running around like chickens with their heads cut off. So we'll see what happens. Let me go through procedures and we'll be right back. Okay, we're back. Before we do anything else, this game deals, it's a chit pull game, which is something that kind of like, it's kind of like a command chariot game. They use that chit pull, and it adds a good element of solitaire playability, and that's what it's all about. So anyway, I pull out 2 chits, of artillery. Find out who gets what available for this first turn, which I don't think it's going to be used for anyway, because the Confederate player can't initiate attack till turn 5, and I don't think the Union player can initiate attacks either right off the bat, but I'll check that out. I know that's for sure about the Confederate player. Alright, so artillery. First one's going to be a Confederate player artillery. We only get to pull 2 of them, and it's the Battery B for Teleforio. So I'm putting these down here. Let me pause this map here a little bit, show you what's going on. I'm gonna put, this is where I use my where I put my Confederate. This is the Confederate side. It'll be on the west, Union side on the east. But this is my available artillery marker in case there's any combat. This is Jackson's wing. This command marker is available once per turn, and it adds 2 to the movement die roll or command die roll of any unit in Jackson's wing. Here's Stuart's artillery. This can be used as defensive artillery too, but I don't believe it can be used until Stuart gets on the map, and this has to be within 6 hexes of Stuart, so we'll see what happens when that one's used. Some are called special command markers. Oh, wrong one. Special command marker here. And these are just artillery markers, so that's what I got down there. And there's my markers for the Confederate player. Same thing over here. Alright, so I got one more artillery to pull. I pulled one, it was a Confederate. Alright. Next one's going to be a Confederate too. So the Confederate's got get both artillery draws this turn. None for the Union, but like I said, I don't anticipate much conflict or contact on this first turn, so a little bit better view. I'll put the available artillery out here. And I doubt if anybody will be using this, but we'll see what's going on. Like I said, this helps with the die roll for movement. What Jackson's wing with this counter basically does is just extend the range of the movement for his chosen formation. Alright, well that was the artillery draw. Player repeats, blah blah blah. Both players place formations they determine around his turn. Appropriate entry hexes. Done that. Place newly arriving artillery markers and command markers and special markers on the current available markers. Done that. Most will go into okay. Now we did our artillery special command marker phase. And there's no special command markers that are going to be available this turn besides these ones I got down here. The Union player don't have special command markers in the Battle of Bull Run. Alright, I think that's going to be about it. Command markers all in a cup. Alright, let me go look at these rolls and we'll be drawing our first chits. We'll be back. Things started. Let the battle begin. First command chit to be drawn is going to be the Confederates get the first move. A Confederate unit that's going to move is going to be lights. Divisions up here. So let me see if I want to use my Jackson's wing and add 2 to the die roll. I gotta look over the strategy and see if we want to do that, but let's go over here while we're here anyway. And we'll take this marker and I'll show you how this works. This is upside down, but you'd be facing the other way, but underneath Jackson's wing, that's what these units are. We'll put this right here, and then we roll a die. Whatever die roll comes up is the number of movement points or movement allowance the unit will get. Now, if I decide to use this Jackson's wing special command marker, I'll add 2 to that dice roll, therefore increasing the odds of greater movement. So let me go look over the strategy, and I'll be right back. And then I think I'm going to go ahead and use this Jackson's Wing marker in lieu of this light marker here. So let me roll the dice, and that'll be a +2 on a die roll. 7. So Jackson's goes all the way up here to 10. So these light units, Jackson's Wing, can move 10. It's a big roll. Good start for the Confederate player. Now to see where he's going to do with those 10 movement points. We shall return. Deployed Lights Division in this manner, keeping my command unit under branch centered to make sure nobody's out of command. Keeping a token force up here in Centerville because I don't know what's going to happen with these entrant Texas. Not sure if the Union forces are going to come, through there or what. Alright, so keeping the command range 1, 2, 3, 4, so they're not on a command. Down here I've moved 4 brigades along this slope and this road to meet any Union forces that come on up. Look at that slope bonus. Alright, now what happened next was I had another chit pull, and the person activated was Hooker. And he rolled a 2, so he gets 4 movement points. So now down here, gotta find out if Hooker's gotta obey those Pope orders. If he does, he'll be heading towards Centerville as fast as possible. So let me go check that out, and we'll be back. Okay, according to Pope's orders, Hooker's men have to move up this road towards Centerville as fast as possible. And then I'll be using a road movement, so let's go ahead and do this. He's got a movement of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's about as basic as that. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I guess the rest of the units have to follow right behind them. So that's what that move will look like. They can only move 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. They couldn't use a reinforcement movement, although Kearney's forces can. So Kearney will probably pass them up. Kearney can move he can move a quarter movement on these roads. So Kearney can get going. All right, well that's Hooker's move. Let's draw from the old command cup and see who's next. And it is the U.S. player, Kearney. He's gonna fly. All right, let's roll for old Kearney. Army on the Potomac. 6. So Kearney is going to move. Kearney with a 6, he gets to move 8. So 8 times 4, 36 hexes on this road. Now there's certain conditions he has to meet. He can't enter a Confederate zone of control, and I don't know if he can initiate battle. So here's where Kearney's starting out at, and we'll find out where he ends up. Be back. Kearney's move. Like I said, Kearney's able to move 8 hexes. Got a real good die roll. So he's going to take advantage of this road reinforcement march movement, where it only costs you a rate of a quarter of a movement point. So he's going to be going pretty good. He come on up this road this way, outside of Manassas Junction, past old Hooker's units. Came up through here, and they would have been able to make a better time, but this little crossing of the creek slowed them down a little bit. Lead unit is command unit by old Poe, and per the reinforcement march movement rules, they can't be adjacent to another unit. So I guess that just simulates long columns. They tripping over each other. So Richardson's pulling up the rear. Another thing is they were going to go straight on through, but they can't make contact or move adjacent to Confederate units. So that will be Kearney's move. This is the board coming up around. I don't know what's going to happen here. I don't think anybody can fight right away. So we'll see what happens with the next chip pull. But coming on over, let's get that next chip pull going. We got ourselves a Confederates. Who's gonna move? You'll up here on Old Stone Bridge, Lewis Ford, Sherman's Farm, Robinson House. What would be the best move for you? Let me find out how much he's gonna move first. So over here, the old Yule marker, and roll a dice. Oh, Yule gets stuck. Bad rolls for the Confederate side. All right, well, Yule will get 4 movement points, and we'll figure out what he's gonna do. Got to protect victory point markers, and here, so this little triangle. But anyway, I'm gonna make my moves, figure out the strategy, talk to my scouts, confer with my lieutenants. Be back. Here's Yule's movement. Slowed down a little bit by the stone bridge. Not much of a, or no penalty for going up this slope because they're on the road, so other terrain's clear, so it's just a 1, but that's all the further they got on that low roll. Had a kind of a time getting their shit together, so you go in there, Yule. Centerville's under attack, so that's it for Yule. Next draw, the only one that's left is Terrafolio, or whatever his name is. Let me see if I can get this guy's name right. Alright, it looks to me like it is a Talia Furio. Okay, Talia Furio. It's the next one. Talia Furio's going here. Trying to get himself a good die roll, get rid of that bad luck die. And it paid off. Nope, he's got a 3. So Talia Furio will be moving 6 hexes, or 6 movement points. And we'll find out what his options are. Everybody's heading to Centerville. Ain't many Union forces on the board yet. So Teleferio is looking over here to the who's coming on the board. Does he want to rush over to Centerville and be a little bit premature? Don't look like much of a threat. They go, well, I can handle it. Plus he's got Yule's forces coming to his defense, so my thinking here is Teleforio's gonna guard this area around here. Guard that Confederate victory point marker. Another thing you might notice is when I set up all the Confederate units on the road, so it did come time for activation. You didn't have to hop on the road and lose a movement point, so it's always a good thing to deploy your units on the road when you're initially deploying them. Okay, well, we're gonna go see what Teleforio decides to do, and we'll be back. Terrafario, whatever, a little bit, not too much. The units that were along this road here heading towards the victory marker, victory condition marker right there on Stony Ridge, so we want to protect that in case we get any sudden moves east from any sudden appearing Union forces. Terrafolio himself right here, and Stonewell Stonewall Jackson, I believe. Maybe I could be wrong, but they right here in the woods on this road decided to come on up the slope. Was an extra wood point, but then it was clear all the way through here. No penalty for going down the hill, but there was a penalty for crossing the creek, which landed them right here at this nice little junction of Groverton. So, and that's a nice little junction there, and also behind a nice little creek, so that might provide a combat bonus modifier. Okay, that is the situation. I think them are all the movements and all the chits to be drawn. That is it. We're gonna move on now. Let me look and see here to the retreat phase. There won't be no retreat phase, and it's not a night turn, so we'll be going to the game turn end phase. Seeing what that all curtails. Retreat phase, yep. Retreat phase end turn. Both players check for automatic victory. That won't happen. If no automatic victory is achieved and it is not the last turn of the game, remove all from their command tracks, put them back in their cups. Advance game turn marker, begin a new game turn with the mutual reinforcement phase. Alright, so pretty much easy to pick these guys on up. Put them back in the command cup. Put old Jackson back here for his next turn. And the 1, 2, 3 units there back in the command cup. I'm also going to place the artillery back in the artillery cup. Oh, that's right, Union player didn't have none, so here's the 2 artilleries. Got my cups here, ready to be drawn. And I'm going to remove the turn marker. There's some good reinforcements coming on here now. The Union player has an option of delaying these and getting victory points, but I don't know about all that, so I'm going to look over some strategy. Show you what goes on with the next turn. Having fun here. It's a good game. Clash of Giants. We'll be back.